Sup guys, it's Rifftic, and this is everything you need to know about CC and CC immunity in Tower of Fantasy. This guide mostly pertains to PvP, but these rules do also still apply in PvE as well. Now, the reason I'm making this guide is because there is zero information in-game about the types of CC and CC immunity, and there's very little information online as well. The best source I could find was the Tower Fantasy Index, and to be honest, this list sucks. First off, it has very little, like maybe 50% of the information that it should, and in some cases, it's just straight up wrong. Confinement does not give hyper body. That is just completely false, fake news. So this list is pretty bad, so I decided to make my own for you guys. Now, the one thing that this list does get right is like the basics of CC. So what does CC, like, I assume you guys already know this, but just in case, CC stands for crowd control. You have your knock up, your knockdown, they forgot stun somehow, and then also slow. So those four are like the main forms of CC. Basically, CC is anything that keeps you from being able to press the buttons on your keyboard and play the game. So this list sucks, so let's use my own. Now, before we get into that, I'm going to have to put this on really quick because it's about to get real. So before you click off of the video, I am going to go in depth on this, don't worry. So let's get started. There are two types of CC immunity in Tower of Fantasy. The first is hit stun immunity / immune to control effects. I don't know why the devs decided to give this two names, but these are used pretty much interchangeably. In this video, I'm going to call it hit stun immune just for the sake of time. It's annoying to say the whole thing. And the second form of CC immunity is hyper body. So what gives you hit stun immunity? A couple examples that are the most well-known and the most used are magnetic pulse and also Meryl spin. What gives you immune to control effects? Meryl ability, which is her slashes, and then her shield, which is her 6-star. And then also Coco's 3-star makes her skill and her discharge give immune to control effects. I have no idea why the devs thought this would be a good idea to give two abilities that look exactly the same. Her hold ability, Whirlwind, it is hit stun immunity, and then her skill is immune to control effects. They do the exact same thing. I don't know why they gave it two different names. It's super confusing, but they did. So basically what you need to know is that these two things are the same in effect. So next, hyper body. Some good examples of this are Crow's skill and then also NA's hold attack and her 1-star, which is every time you switch to NA, it's like Meryl shield. Every time you switch to NA, you get hyper body. And what hyper body does is it makes you immune to slow. Oh, I forgot to say what hit stun is immune to. Didn't cross my mind. Anyways, it is immune to slows, knockups, knockdowns, and stuns. So basically everything except for the disclaimer at the bottom, which I'll get into in just a second. But first, hyper body makes you immune to slows, knockups, knockdowns, and freezes. It does not make you immune to stuns. That is the key difference between hyper body and hit stun immune. So now at the bottom here, we have nothing, a really important thing, and that is nothing counters shield break or Frigg's discharge. If somebody breaks your shield, you will get stunned. That's just the way it is. And as of right now, there is not a counter to Frigg's discharge effect. It is, again, super confusing because her tooltip actually says, if you read it, for her discharge, upon switching to this weapon, temporarily controlling opponents in an area before unleashing a gigantic slash. Being immune to control effects does not apply to getting controlled by Frigg's discharge. Makes no sense, super weird, but yes, shield break stun and Frigg's discharge, nothing can stop it as of right now. If something changes, I will pin a comment, so make sure to check that. I do that in every video. If I'm wrong about something, or if I miss something, I will always pin a comment, so you can always check that. So how do you know when somebody is affected by hyper body or hit stun immunity or immune to control effects? Now this is where I get mad. So the devs thought it would be a really great idea to have different names and different visual effects for each of these and then interchange them like randomly. It makes zero sense. So what I mean by this is Meryl, we'll take Meryl for example again. Her spin attack, Whirlwind, it makes her turn yellow. It's a nice visual effect. Oh, you see that? You see the yellow? It means she can't be stunned. It means she can't be CC'd. You can't do anything to her. Her skill, which is named something different, it's control effect, not hit stun effect, it also makes her yellow. So you know, oh, okay, I can't do anything to her. So you can see that with your eyeballs. Now, her 6-star, which is her shield, it gives her shield, and it also gives her immunity to control effects. Guess what? It doesn't turn her yellow. So you just have to know this in order to know it. So you have to like memorize these. So, and then the other example I wanted to give was Coco's 3-star. Both her ability and her discharge give her immunity to control effects. Guess what? 0 visual effect at all. You just have to know it. So it's super dumb. I have no idea why they decided to do this. To make it even more, I don't want to confuse you guys too much, but NA is yet another like exception, and that is her 1-star, which remember NA gives hyper body, but her 1-star, her hyper body turns her yellow. So not only is hit stun immune make you yellow, some hit stun immunes make you yellow, some don't. Some hyper bodies make you yellow, some don't. It's so dumb, it's so stupid, but anyways, all of this to say, you kind of have to go through and just memorize all of the different things. It makes it really hard for newer players, and it's just annoying overall. There's no reason for this. If they just had a baseline system across everything, like it would make it so much easier, but they don't. So main takeaways here is hit stun immunity is the same as immune to control effects, and it makes you immune to slows, knockups, knockdowns, and stuns. And then hyper body is slows, knockups, knockdowns, and freezes. And then nothing counters shield break and nothing counters frig discharge effect. In terms of the visual effect of turning yellow, you just have to memorize all of the different things. But yeah, that's about it for this video. It was really ridiculous. It was really long. It was very difficult to figure all of this out. I had to basically test it all myself. I also talked to a lot of high-end PvPers, high-rank PvPers. So it was very difficult to make. So I'd appreciate if you guys like, comment, and sub as usual. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.